Hi, this is Phil Potempa. Welcome to another edition of Notoriety. Each week, bringing you all the ticket opportunities, events, and everything happening in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. And of course, it's the broadcast streaming equivalent of all of the columns, feature stories you'll see in the flagship print Post Tribune under the umbrella of Chicago Tribune Media, with everything captured at chicagotribune.com as well. Some of you are tuned in to the traditional radio dial at 12:30 a.m. as we come to you from our Hammond studios, the Strack and Van Til studios. Others of you perhaps found us through social media or streaming or through our YouTube channel. So you have the added advantage of the cameras and our window to the world that take you right into our studios here. We couldn't be here without the generous support of our underwriters, the folks at People's Bank, Arts Advocates, Andy and Sue Arnold. We have a long-time history with the Indiana Arts Commission, Legacy Foundation, and Theater at the Center, of course, our home away from home at the Center for Visual Performing Arts right here on Ridge Road. I'm joined by co-host Luke Miiller, returning again.
Hello, good morning.
And Tony Panek, familiar voice and presence and face here at WJOB.
How's it going, everybody?
And most of all, we have a returning guest, somebody who has a different hat every time I talk to him. It could be scenic design, it could be director, but most of all, we know him as Michael. Michael, introduce yourself and give us your affiliation.
Hey, I'm Michael Lasswell, resident set designer and resident director at Dunes Art Summer Theater.
Dunes is one of our famous and favorite escapes. It has a history that's, I don't know, what, 70 years old or so?
75. This is our diamond anniversary.
Yeah. So they've been around. They know a thing or two. And if you've not been out to that escape, the beautiful, beautiful Dune Summer Theater nestled in that woods, on that terrace, sometimes you listen real close, you can hear the water and the waves just right through the tree line there. It's time for you to revisit it again. It's our friends just to the east, Michigan City. It's still on our region time, Chicago time. And they have productions that really are, I say they're Chicago worthy because they are. Or Peninsula Players, if you think of Door County, or any of these resort, getaways. But we have the advantage of having it right in our backyard. It doesn't hurt that the artistic director has a long history with the Goodman Theater, right?
Yeah, Steve Scott used to be second in command at the Goodman, and we get a lot of people coming to work for us who otherwise wouldn't, just because Steve's the artistic director.
And it's got to be a bit of an escape, and we're going to get to the production in a minute, but I can't talk enough about this landscape. You pull up to this decades-old kind of a block building. You step inside. It has a very cool feeling because it is climate-controlled. So even before that, it would always have kind of a cool, damp feeling, but now it's climate-controlled, so it's air-conditioned. There is a full-service bar with drinks and wine and other canned libations. There's a terrace you can set out and overlook what could be a fire pit or the little cottages and cabins that are down there.
And we usually have a live musician before every show.
So, again, it's one-stop shop for you to come out, spend your Friday, spend your Saturday, or it could be your Sunday afternoon, and just step back. It feels like you really are part of, like the Getaway the Catskills or the old-fashioned summer stock tours. Yeah. But the caliber performances are just incredible. They're kicking off their season right now. Death Trap is the mystery that has everybody on the edge of their seats. It has done well, and you've had pretty full houses these first two weekends. Yeah. And I want to timestamp that. In case this is a rebroadcast you're going to find on social media, we're coming to you Tuesday, June the 9th. So that's when this broadcast is being generated. So know that you only have one more weekend. So it closes this weekend of June the 14th on that Sunday. Matinee would be the final performance, right?
Sunday at 2 is the final performance. You can also get tickets for Friday at 7 Central and Saturday at 7 Central.
Okay, so here's your opportunity. Go online to do it. You could probably show up there at the box office, and Elise or somebody will kindly help you out. But I'm telling you, a year ago, I was in that spot to see Misery. There really wasn't any seats. It was just jam-packed to that back row. And how many seats are in that space?
About 220, but that's the Janet Davies effect you're talking about.
The Janet Davies effect, and she is a part of the cast of Death Trap.
Yes, yeah.
She's a soothsayer psychic? What is her role?
She's a Dutch psychic who has no tact and no editor, and she just says whatever comes to mind. I'm also the costume designer on this, and there's a rumor going around she's wearing a pair of my silver shoes. That's a lie. She is wearing one of my scarves, but we thought we'd push the envelope in terms of ornament and bling and color because she's supposed to be a local celebrity. So
that is so much fun.
It was a blast costuming her.
She was phenomenal in Misery when she was in it just again a year ago, and I'm so glad she came back because she's got a background, way background in theater. Of course, we know her as the ABC legend and entertainment reporter and lifestyle and features reporter for so many years. But she's got her own her own world now that she's taken a step back up in the wilds of Michigan, where Acorn Theater, she's had some involvement.
Yeah, she was president of the board of Acorn. She lives Galeen or Niles or something like that.
Yeah.
Lovely big spread. But she, one of our customers explained when they saw Misery that they spent 20, 30 years watching Janet Davies be nice, and they're paying money to see her be not nice.
That's exactly right. And she is also repaired with her co-star from Misery, correct, Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin Geis, who was known years ago as the King of the Dunes, and then we went through a bunch of different artistic directors and stuff, and he stopped working for us, and we dug him out of the woodwork, and I loved him so much in Misery.
Oh, yeah.
And when we were starting to think about doing Death Trap, you needed somebody who could be smart, funny, do a lot of physical comedy, but also be believably ruthless.
Absolutely. We're going to get questions from Luke and from Tony. Give us this quick commercial for how to get these tickets.
Yeah, you can go online to dunesarts.org, DUNESARTS.org, or call 219-879-7509.
Let's do it.
Yep, talk to me about the inspiration, Michael, about choosing this thriller and what came to you.
Yeah, are you in the committee that does the program selection?
I did suggest it. We don't quite have a committee. We just have kind of...
Take a look at this. What do you think of that?
What is going to serve us? What's going to be in contrast? The second show of our season we knew was going to be Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune, which is a sweet romantic comedy. The third show was going to be this edgy musical called Avenue Q, which is
with the puppets, right?
Kind of an R-rated Sesame Street.
Which I don't think either of you guys have seen yet,
Yeah.
have
No.
you? Oh, that's one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, and then we're ending because Jesus Christ Superstar was such a hit over the years. We're doing a concert version of that, and then we're doing our new play festival, which we don't even know what's going to be in there. But immediately after Jesus Christ Superstar, we're doing a workshop production, a concert reading of a new play called When Monica Met Hillary. With Janet Davies as Hillary Clinton.
This is a scoop today. I did not know about it. Are you allowed to say this to me?
I'm completely allowed to say this. Yeah,
I'm writing this column in my head right now.
We did a workshop with Janet last year, and she was definitive, and she has interviewed Hillary Clinton, so she has the inside dirt. Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tony,
That's
take it away. It's hard.
Well, you
it's hard
wear
to follow
many
that.
hats with this show, including set design. You're showing us some pictures, and I think Adriana has pictures as well. But the set's very impressive. I mean, what goes into making a set? Do you have I know it's your vision, but do you have help, hopefully? Because that's a beautiful set.
I have a whole lot of volunteers.
Okay.
I got really lucky that our props designer, Sarah Brown, she just used to be a Renaissance Fair geek. Because the challenge is you've got to play about a man who writes comedy thrillers, and it's a comedy thriller, but it says in the script there's all of these weapons. And I put out the APB to the board, and I'm involved with an organization that rhymes with Talcum Frolics Synonymous. I can't tell you about it because it's anonymous, but a bunch of my sober buddies came through with weapons and stuff like that. And they kept coming in, and my stage manager said, well, we got to say no sometime. And I said, I can't say no. So
load it up.
We have twice as many weapons as there were in the Broadway show, and we have 3 times as many weapons as there were in the movie.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
All in that theater right
All
there.
in that theater. Broadswords, short swords, harpoon gun, medieval crossbow.
It checks the whole list.
Yeah, I was telling Luke, you learn a lot about people when you ask them for their murder weapons.
That's it. What they have in their
Right.
in their
When you ask
rumpus
men,
room.
it's guns and knives. We've got,
Yeah.
Civil War reenactment stuff. When you ask women, it's always poison.
That's their go-to, right?
Except for one very nice woman who said she'd never considered murder, and I said, how long have you been married? And she said, 40 years. And I said, I'm sure you might have at least, if you could imagine it. And she brought forth a little meat tenderizer hammer.
So that would do it. The club. Huh?
Yeah,
That would,
lamb to the slaughter.
And I think, I don't know, our producer, is there a shot of that's the artist rendering a sketch? I think that might be one of the designs.
That's how we started out. Yeah, the most lethal thing on the
Is
set
there-
is actually we have a couple chandeliers.
yeah,
in
there's
the
some
air.
knives in the back there.
Yeah, you can see the knives in the background
I
there.
thought there
but
might have been 3 images that maybe not. That
That's cool.
Maybe not. I mean, I may not
But
have
that's
gotten
him
that
holding
last
our
one.
crossbow.
Yeah.
And if you look in the
Oh,
photo,
yeah, there you can see up by the mantle. There's a lot going on right there.
Yeah, there's a knight in shining armor in the back there. Yeah, we threw the kitchen sink at it. And next door app, we got all of these big beams you see on this
Yeah.
thing for free.
Wow.
2 blocks from the theater. Somebody was giving them away free. And
Sometimes the
serendipity.
stars and planets just align like that, don't they?
Right. When I draw the set, I just dream the dream. I had no idea how we were going to pay for it. And the second day of rehearsal,
That's right.
somebody
Look
gave
up
us
on
Hope you
the
just
little
find things
faces
as you go on,
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't need to have the artist rendering.
Well, no, it is beautiful and a great job to
The,
you. It's tough to think of a
Yeah.
set, you know? And you did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a metaphor. You know, I've been in the business for 45 years. In New York, there's so much tension to have a hit Broadway show.
Yeah.
And there's so much resentment. And my scenic metaphor is resentments are the poison you take, hoping the other guy will die.
That's right. That's right.
And so all of these gigantic axes and muskets over their heads are a metaphor for the resentments that are gonna kill you.
And you have how many weeks then for constructing a set, and then also to get that cast up there and start knowing the bones about it and feeling that set?
We get about 3.5 weeks of rehearsal. I was lucky. I had all the furniture and the set itself built on the first day of rehearsal. It was just working out the fights. We hired a wonderful fight director from Chicago, Brian, who actually said our props were as good as anything you'd find at Steppenwolf or the
Yeah.
Goodman or Chicago Shakespeare.
believe that.
And he's worked at all those places.
That is, that's a nice nod. Anything that is done at the Dunes is always it's so phenomenal. We how much of that set of the bones we call it will stay for what you envision? Because what's the next one coming up?
Frankie and Johnny, New York City enclosed apartment. The walls on the set, if you see pictures of our set, are 12, 14 feet high, some of them. The walls on it, because it's supposed to be an enclosed, low-rent New York City apartment, the walls on the set for that are 10 feet high, 8 feet high. So we're irising in the entire set of Frankie fits inside.
That shell, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and
and
we're-
that what's the first performance for that? That starts when?
That starts 2 weeks after we close.
Gosh, that
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and this is what summer stock is really like in the golden years, where it was just you bring in headliners, and we do have a headliner with Janet Davies,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that she has no filter in this character.
Yes.
And I remember being at a press conference with her at the Goodman, matter of fact, years ago, and that was when everybody in there and the media world would be there for a press conference in the morning. And she kept saying the whole time to Bill Schwecker, who was a gossip columnist, sometimes, Bill, your head is in the way. Bill, can you? Because it was front and center, right, where this talent was at, and she kept telling them to kind of move out of the way. So she's not a shrinking violet.
No, she is fearless. And what's kind of cool about having her in the cast is because she has so much guts.
Yeah.
It brings out the best in everybody else
Yeah.
because they're able to go with more passionate, more
Yeah.
engaged, and often funnier choices because Janet is there.
And it sounds like she's not afraid to take on a new role. I mean,
No.
Yeah.
you mentioned Hillary, this
Yeah.
Dutch psychic, you said?
Yes.
I mean, those are probably.
Yeah.
What about range? For
I
her,
know,
you know?
exactly.
I
Luckily,
told-
we have a mutual friend who's Dutch, and she
Yeah.
was able to, pick
And I
it up.
believe on the screen right there, if you want to show it there,
Oh, there-
Adriana, that's
there's a
that's the
big
full
screen
scope of it, kind of
shot
right
of
Oh,
there.
yeah,
the
there's
set,
a
yeah.
shot. And it looks like there might even be a caller coming that has a question, so we'll be happy to take that too.
Oh.
Look at that. Go ahead, Tony. Ask for the
Yeah, no, we had, look at the lighting, the lamps, and everything. It's just impressive.
Tony,
I
you want
mean,
to welcome the caller? Welcome the caller. There's a caller.
oh, we have a caller. Well, I don't think we can hear him though.
Oh, that might be the trick, right? Yeah, that is. Our producer.
Hello?
We don't have headsets
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
That's the problem.
And it's Tony. He's got his producer.
Yeah, one
ears.
second,
I
one
figured
second,
you better-
caller. Give me like 30
Yeah.
seconds, though. I'm gonna get
Meanwhile,
them all
we'll continue
headsets.
to talk about You've got your whole season there, so we're looking at the shell and these high ceilings, which you'd have.
Yeah.
Because, I guess for some folks that are not feeling a death trap, you're going to figure it's a murder mystery. But can you give us a synopsis without too much giving away?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I've gotten a lot of practice.
I bet, yeah.
Because, you don't
Choose
want
your words carefully.
You don't even want to tell the middle of the first scene. It's a resentful Broadway writer, playwright. People say resentful playwright is redundant, but he's a writer who writes these murder mysteries, and he has covered his walls with both real weapons and props.
You two just take them.
Okay.
We don't need to have any more. We'll let these two handle it.
Real weapons and props that...
Okay, I'll help untangle.
Real weapons and props from all these mysteries, and some Houdini magic tricks that he's collected along the line. And he gets a play in the mail from one of his students from a seminar that he worked on, and the student has written the perfect, most saleable play, and he's chatting with his wife, and she says, well, you wouldn't really commit murder just to have a successful play, to steal this kid's play. And he said, no, of course not. And then he starts to consider it. And the question is, did the student give carbon copies to anybody else? Does anybody know he was working on it? And how realistic would it be? And, is it worth gaining the whole world if you have to give up your immortal
What a
soul?
plot.
Right.
You got to
Right.
see it to find out what happens. But we do have a caller, Adriana says. So, caller, you're on the air.
Hello, is that me?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
All right. It's hard to tell if the shows are live or recorded.
Oh, this is live
Oh,
right now on
I'm
a
calling-
Tuesday.
Okay, that's great. I've been on hold, I didn't know. I'm calling about NIPSCO. You guys still talking about NIPSCO?
Oh, sorry. You got to call the morning show for that. This is a paid program here about OfNotoriety, all about theater and such. But if you call in tomorrow morning, morning show kicks off at 6 a.m.
Tom
to
Dapperton?
8 a.m.
Thank you.
You can talk about NIPSCO there.
That's what I did today. I'm still on that hold, but thank you anyway.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the call. They want to know if the power is working at
Oh, they wanted to.
NIPSCO.
Now, so you bring up NIPSCO. This is also a quick chance as a transition that still works. Are there some sponsors and underwriters you want to give a nod or a thank you to that make this possible? Without, I don't want to leave out anybody. If there's some that you really want to toss out, here's a good chance.
100%.
And if NIPSCO, if you're out there, NIPSCO, they would be happy to take some money.
Alan and absolutely. Alan and Lynn Turner underwrote our whole series season, and actually, we recently got an amazing anonymous donation. Some people don't like to have their name on a donation because they don't want other people hitting them up for money. And but yeah, I had a very nice shock this weekend to find out somebody had thrown a big chunk of change at us, which we need. It's an old theater. We want to replace the seats. We want to replace the acoustics, get new lights, get new sound.
You get that,
stuff
but
like that.
With the theater, though, it's that intimate experience. You mentioned 225 seats or so.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to some of these big theaters, you don't feel like you're part of it. Here,
Right,
you feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah, it's funny. We've gotten such success in the last few years. We've had to bump up our volunteer corps, to take care of the extra parking and stuff. And my mother, who's 92, came and visited me for the show, and I said, hey, did you read that review in the Beecher? And my mom said, read it. I thought I wrote it.
It was that much of a bouquet, huh?
Yeah. My mother could have written our reviews.
You mentioned about anonymous donors, and this is to the folks that are out there. You've heard this on this show for the last 9 years I've been on the air, that the price of that ticket, which I think our tickets for this is $35, depending on who, if you had any discounts or what your age is. But that just covers a mere fraction of what it takes. And we're talking about the salaries, but we're talking about keeping the lights on, that air conditioning, the insurance to have a public place. There are so many other things. So please know that those underwriters, sponsors, supporters are so key. And a story that I tell, Michael, is that during the pandemic, our friends just down the road from me at 4th Street Theater in Chesterton, without there being any revenue, they just were not going to be able to keep the lights. And they asked me about a story because they were thinking maybe they could sell off some wardrobe just to get by another month or so. And I said, yeah, I'll come out. And the set that they were trapped in frozen time was red. Is that about the artist and the assistant?
Yeah.
And so we took some pictures and I wrote about it. And there came a check to them for 6 figures.
Wow.
Again, anonymous. and not even from somebody who, oh, that's so-and-so who always attends. No, had never really been, read about it in the newspaper. So those folks are out there and realize the importance of the arts and how arts are transformative, and we need that escape. We need to have our brain working and have that experience with others. So
Right.
I'm glad to hear that there are arts advocates out there everywhere that are still helping.
Yeah, I mean, this show, it takes a village to put it on every night because it's so technically complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighting. I tell people the biggest expense on the show was our stage blood, which was $150 a gallon.
Stage blood.
And
think about that.
yeah, no, it was very funny. I had not been to some meetings, and one of my buddies wrote to me and said, "Hey, we haven't seen you for a while. Are you doing okay?" And I thought I was talking to the fight guy. And so I'm texting back to him. Yeah, things are going away. The stranglings are going really well, but the stabbings are kind of a problem. What do you use to clean up all the blood? and my buddy, who was writing just to see if I was okay, he wrote back, "What is wrong with you? Do I need to call the cops?" I said, "No. I thought you were the fight guy."
You'd fallen over the bad
exactly,
crowd.
right.
That Long Beach crowd.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
a tough bunch of roughnecks
I'm
over
only
there.
a serial killer on paper.
If you're hearing all this, and again, it could be a rebroadcast, so you're hearing it and you're seeing how much fun we are just talking and describing about it. It's the limited 3-weekend run of Death Trap Dune Summer Theater. It's like stepping out into the East Coast, Connecticut, being up in, I mentioned Door County before. It is just an incredible, wonderful artistic escape, an oasis of arts entertainment. 75 years old. Their season kicks off with this fun murder mystery where you hear that there is no blood that is spared. So no matter how much pricey it is, they're splashing it everywhere. And headlining and reuniting Kevin Geist with Janet Davis. You know, Janet Davis is her own media maven, a star from Chicago for so many years with ABC Channel 7. Right. Her own TV show she had, and now we have her right here on stage. Last year, I gave her raves in a review in Misery, and I've not gotten out of this, and I hope to have had to stay a little closer to the farm these days, but I want to make sure that I get out there because this time she's in the guise of a Dutch psychic, you're saying, right?
A Dutch psychic who's rude.
It was very rude.
Who says anything, and she's right about 50% of the time, so it thickens the plot if you're trying to cover up a crime, if you have a psychic walking around your house.
And the voice that you're hearing is Michael, a scenic designer. He's the director in this case. He's pulling it all together. Only one more opportunity for this coming weekend of performances, and again, that's Friday. You've got Saturday. Those are both 7:30s.
No, 7 o'clock.
7
Friday,
o'clock.
Saturday, 2 o'clock Sunday, Central Time, everything.
So that's all on our region time. It's Chicagoland time. Make sure you will not be disappointed to get that ticket. Running time with the intermissions around what?
2:15, 2:20, depending on how
That's
slow.
tight.
Yeah.
You keep things moving then.
Yeah, our audiences are surprisingly large, so
Yeah.
it'll all depend on how much they drink at the tiki bar.
That's right. What the lines are for the bath. And again, there's that beautiful terrace and landscape. You will not be disappointed by any measure or means of the words. These two guys just finally got downtown to see Spamlot for the first time.
Yeah.
And if you thought that was push the envelope, it's a required field trip for them to see Avenue Q,
Yes.
which really raises eyebrows, but in a way that everybody learns something together because we're all in this together, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Final questions as we start to wrap up, gentlemen.
What I just want to say too, the poster for the show, it's like a movie poster.
Yeah,
Really
that's a
is.
great-
It's like something you
That
see
is
at
a great
AMC
look.
hanging on the
where-
wall
yeah,
there.
our,
Death Trap.
Tony Martin, our resident photographer, had the idea for this and came up with that image. And yeah, we wanted to draw the audience into the conspiracy.
Yeah, that does it
from
right
the
there.
very
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Luke?
Well, not as much a question. I'm just really looking forward to it. With the mix of set design, the
Yeah.
star power, a gripping story that ran on Broadway for many years, it just seems like a delight.
Yeah, you're going to be surprised. It's a good date night if your
Absolutely.
date doesn't mind a little action-packed thriller. But it's a good time. It's very funny. People hear a gallon of stage blood, they think it's all going to be dark.
Right.
It's dark, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Is the just a quick as we wrap up here, I'm curious when you folks are all together, and you heard me mention earlier, perhaps the listeners or viewers, about the terrace overlooking the cottages. Some of the artistic creatives, the talent, depending on what show it is, they might come, and they come from all over the country sometimes just for work opportunities, internships, will live and stay in those climate-controlled cottages which years ago were built. I think the Sears catalog had a construction kit. They've been revitalized. I hear they have air conditioning.
Yep.
They're very cozy and comfortable. So those are right there. I'm curious, on Sunday, did the Dunes crowd all get together and have a Tony's party watching? Or no, people are so tired and splintered, there isn't enough time to gather everybody.
Some of us did, yeah,
Some
yeah.
did.
I lived in New York for 15 years, so it's always fun to see people you knew.
Oh, yeah. It's
you know, who you were a baby performer with
Yeah.
way back in the day. And oh my gosh, Danny's nominated for a Tony. That's amazing.
Any surprises that you or Steve or everybody raised your eyebrows, or you thought, no, I figured this was going to probably go home with the hardware?
No, Ragtime, everybody expected. I was pleasantly surprised by Schmigadoon, which is laugh out loud funny. I love the TV series, and I was happy they got the credit they deserved.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much. And our next time we'll have to have, again, there's always an open door for you. Come back, bring any of the rest of the fun team as well, and push and promote all the great things that are happening. The summer's going to go by like this, so again, my recommendation, get out to Dune Summer Theater, be our Vanna White, Michael, and give us that commercial again.
One more time. The phone number is 219-879-7509. And the email address, the online address is dunesarts, DUNESARTS, all one word, lowercase, .org.
And remind me, because it has been a little while since I've been out there, when you go online, you can purchase your own tickets. And is it all general seating, or no, it's assigned seating?
It is all general seating.
Okay.
So get there early, enjoy the live music, and get yourself some refreshments. And then our doors open half an hour before the show, and the people who show up early get their best seats.
All right, next time we see it, it'll be at the Tiki Bar there on the terrace, Dune Summer Theater. And again, hello to Steve and Elise and all the crowd, okay?
All right.
And Janet, of course. Don't forget Janet and Kevin as well. I'm your host, Phil Potempa. Thank you for being a part of our conversation around the table for this installment of Notoriety. We wish you well, and we'll see you again next week. And enjoy wherever your path might take you right now, be it morning, afternoon, or evening.